Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Christopher Paradiscal, on this afternoon edition of Completely New. This is a very, of course, obviously implied in the broadcast, a brand new edition of, or a brand new broadcast of this type of, was mostly specifically just about many types of very interesting, amazing things that are happening to fulfill the future of what can become, not necessarily just what can become, but what is already present, which is the amazing amount of, and which is going to be crystallized in a super awesome golden city which already exists. The amazing amounts of grand heavenescent activity involved in the huge amount of efforts and movements and changes that have been bringing out not only the advanced forms of technology of light healing, crystal healing, and as well, most importantly, sonic healing. Well, not necessarily that sonic healing is more important than crystal healing, but of course, just the very advanced healing techniques have existed for a very long time. Of course, Lemuria, Telos, and as well as the beings of Agartha, definitely Shambhala, have very advanced healing methods, which is one part of the Galactic Society, as well as Golden City in general, Golden Auric City, City of Light, Cities of Light, cities that are part of once again a very powerful co-creative process, and of course the aspects of energy, within its forms to create energy. And these are just the regular sums of something that is a part of creating the massive evolutionical understanding of co-creative expansive potential that has to do with many aspects of not only what is part of a limitless sort of creationalistical aspect of unity and acceleration and advancement, but of course the Paradiscal abilities to not only create co-creatively with imagination, with willpower, and of course with willpower, so tenacity and velocity, and just also with the ability to create heavenous realms with not only with intention, but of course with the fact of the matter that many different types of, for example, one positive, grand, and evanescent evolutionary, I say the word evolutionary, but evolutionary creations that can be made, or evolutionary inventions that can already be made and be utilized by all. Faster it's not necessarily about faster, but that acceleration is not only increasing, that unity and closeness is not only increasing, but that understanding of what it takes, and how actually quite how simple it is to once again have 21st century solutions for 21st century problems, which aren't really necessarily 21st century problems, or not necessarily problems at all, or difficulties or consequences. I mean, let's rephrase that. They're not difficulties, they're not problems, they're not challenging. All it is actually is just the understanding of the co-creative ability of the potential of what is not only always been there, always will be there, but of course the important responsibility that we work out in the very subtlest of forms. Now that is one very important aspect of how not only co-creative the tremendous amount of not only the unity, of course, of the entire planet, but of course the understanding of what goes on. Well, let's segue straight into this. The true power of what goes on in what's within us, of course, which is the creator beings, and of course the ability to not only continue to manifest limitless amounts of abundance and potential, but of course live in the unlimited realm of bliss, peace that we of course always have, always will, and shall always live in. The mind is of course a very powerful thing, object, tool, and of course it is always the greatest ally. So many great, wonderful, fantastic things have been occurring and will occur, and of course acceleration and advancement in many different types of areas and nuances. There's going to be So once again, there's going to be large, very grand, very huge leaps in time and what we perceive as time. So keep that in mind. This is your host, Christopher Curtis Bowen, on this evening edition of, on this late afternoon edition of Completely New. Love you all.